Hello, welcome to BioGreat TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. How Tunisia got independence. Tunisia became a protectorate of France in 1881 by treaty rather than outright conquest, which was also the case in Algeria. Officially, the Tunisian monarch, known as the Bey, remained an absolute monarch. Tunisian ministers continued to be appointed, the existing government structure was maintained, and Tunisians continued to be subjects of the Bey. Nevertheless, the highest authority was transferred to the French resident general. But by the 1890s, a small group of French-educated Tunisians came together and started calling for a greater level of participation by Tunisians in their own government. They were called the Young Tunisians. They wanted modern reforms based on European models. However, the group's approach was reserved and cautious. Their primary weapon was the newspaper Le Tunisien, a French-language publication established in 1907. Printing of the Arabic edition of the newspaper began 2 years later in 1909. With these papers, the Young Tunisians succeeded in simultaneously educating their countrymen and women and convincing the more liberal French to help move Tunisia towards the reforms they were proposing. By 1920, another political party known as Destor, which means the Constitution, had come up with a powerful base supported by the Bey. Destor was more aggressive in its demand for Tunisia's autonomy. Progress towards actualization of self-governance was seen to be too slow by some younger nationalists, and in 1934 they broke away from Destor to form Neo-Destor. These events became the springboard for the rise to prominence of a politician destined to play the key role in the future relationship between France and Tunisia, as well as for the independence of Tunisia. The man was Habib Bourguiba, and he was the Secretary General of the new party. Feeling threatened, the French immediately banned Neo-Destor and sent Bourguiba to a number of French prisons in France. Bourguiba spent the next 20 years of his life locked up in one prison or the other. With the starting of World War II, Tunisia's bid for independence was halted temporarily. Somehow, the war worked in Bourguiba's favor, and in 1943, he regained his freedom when the Nazi forces were defeated. When he returned to Tunisia, Bourguiba proposed a concept of gradual independence for Tunisia, which was accepted and supported by most Tunisians. As a means of frustrating the French and get them to leave, the Neo-Destor resorted to armed resistance by engaging in attacks on colonial facilities. Many of these attacks were spearheaded by militants such as Chedli Kalala. These attacks again led to the imprisonment of Bourguiba from 1952 to 1954. But his imprisonment only fueled the movement for Tunisian independence. In June 1954, France got a new prime minister in the person of Pierre Mendes, and immediately he took office, he instituted a withdrawal policy from Tunisia to lessen the violent clashes occurring in the colonies. By that policy, the French partially withdrew from Tunisia, and in 1955, Tunisia was granted internal autonomy. Only foreign affairs and defense remained under French control. This was exactly the situation in 1881 when the treaty was first signed to make Tunisia a French protectorate. After these changes, Bourguiba made a heroic return to Tunisia and a Neo-Destor government was established. By November 1955, Morocco was granted independence by France. This helped to pave way for Tunisia's independence as well. On 20th March 1956, Tunisia finally achieved full independence from France as proposed by Habib Bourguiba. The French colonization had lasted for 75 years since the signing of Tunisia as a French protectorate on the 12th of May 1881. Tunisia's independence was achieved after a prolonged battle fought in political arenas with diplomatic efforts in the streets and on the pages of papers. The day, 20th March 1956, represents the fulfillment of a dream that took over half a century to achieve. It is the fruit of a fight fought and won by the men and women of Tunisia, and leading this new work was the first president of a free Tunisia, But. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share and subscribe to our channel.